What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Barbershop Show. My name is Terry T-Holla Holloman.
Yes, and I'm Marcus Trufant.
That's right, and we are the Barbershop. We bring you those conversations that you can only have in the barbershop, the news we talk about in the barbershop, the way we get down in the barbershop.
Yes, and the concept of the barbershop, for those of you who don't know, when you go into a barbershop, not only do you get your hair cut, get the fresh fade, get the nice beard, whatever, but you talk about everything under the sun, sports, current events, you talk about your ladies, you talk about what you used to do sports-wise, anything. So that's how we get there.
You can't talk about your lady too much because when somebody in the barbershop might try to sneak up on them.
You got some nasty cats in the barbershop.
Yeah,
so
that's another.
I agree. I agree.
It's another conversation for another day. But the conversation we're gonna have today, of course, since we are here in Seattle, is the Seattle Seahawks. They finally got their first win of the season. True, they are 1-2 now. They went out last Sunday against the Chicago Bears and pulled off a 26-0 victory. Finally, well deserved. Long-awaited victory. They got Kam Chancellor back from his holdout, and really, it was kind of the atmosphere was electric that they got Kam back.
Oh yeah, man, the atmosphere was off the chain from the introduction and of everything with Kam. They called his name on the big screen. I wasn't sure you might hear a couple boos or something because during his holdout or whatever, people had a lot of stuff to say, but it was crazy. It was electric, man. The noise was off the chain. I was in the suite up there, in the
you bougie.
alumni suite, so I was big time up there. But it was great, man. Kam, he came back, he did his thing, and I think the team, they really felt his energy from the start. As far as the chatter on the back end, they look like the Legion of Boom. Everybody's talking, everybody's communicating. Kam is talking to the DNs, he's talking to the linebackers, all that kind of stuff. And we didn't really see that too much the first couple games. So I just think it's a good look, man. I think the Legion of Boom is whole now. So, I think they're going to keep it rolling.
Yeah, I hope they keep it rolling. Like I said, they came out and got a 26-0 victory. And it was a shutout. The defense played lights out ball. And, there's been a lot of conversation, especially around the city. Did Kam really have that big of an impact? When you look at the stat line, it's basically Kam really didn't have that much activity. He didn't have any picks. He didn't have any defended passes. He didn't have even, I think he maybe be credited with a half of a tackle.
Right.
But with that being said, do you think just his whole presence, what is it about Kam being back on the team helped them to get that victory?
I think it started from the first play, because if I remember correctly, I think that half a tackle you're talking about, I think that was one of the first plays of the game. He came down, he filled the gap, and I think he lifted the running back up and kind of threw him down, and the stadium went crazy. Of course, he's going crazy, and I think that just set the tone of the game right there. And from then on, the defense was all over him. Of course, the D-line was up there doing their thing, and that made it a lot easier. And Kam, he was rotated in and out. So I don't know if they didn't want him to shoot his load too early and be done for the season.
You can only say that in the barbershop, by the way.
So they brought in a Shed. They spelled him a little bit because they want to have him for the rest of the season. He's been out for a while, and there's no way that you could replace game speed. So he's going to have to get in shape just a little bit.
Right. So I guess now the question is, the jury really was out on Kam. He held out. He wanted more money. He wanted more guaranteed money. Nobody really knows exactly what Kam wanted or what his plan was. But now that he came back, do you think that it was really a victory for Kam, or was it a victory for the Seahawks, man? Because, he's back now. Right. And he didn't get any extra money. He didn't get any more guaranteed money. And he basically, some people want to say he caved.
Right. Well, he caved, but I look at it, when you play checkers and there's nothing left on the board, and it's cats, right? Call it a cats game. I call it a tie. The Seahawks, they got their player back. And, Kam, he got back with his brothers. He was able to help out. He was able to do his thing. And I know he was missing football. So I call it a stalemate. I think it was a good move to come back. And now they can take care of business on the offseason. Just like you said, I don't know how much truth there is going to be to that coming the offseason. But we'll see. So, I don't know, man. I think it was a tie, but I think it's good for the team, good for the organization, and overall, I think it's good for Kam.
Right. Personally, I think, it's a good start for Kam. He's back. With him on the team is 1-0. So for him, it's a win. What they got to keep doing now is keep winning, and every week, there's just a notch that Kam can put on his belt and say, look, you can't win without me.
Right.
You could only win when I'm here. When I was gone, you lost 2 in a row.
Right.
Now that I'm here, you got 1 win. Guess what happens next week, which is Monday night. We get a chance to see these Seahawks go out and play. So, but before we move to Monday night, there was another guy that we talked about last week that you really wanted to see come out and shine. It was Jimmy Graham.
Right.
Now, he had a chance to go out there and do his thing. I think he had like 7 catches and a touchdown. What do you think about Jimmy Graham and his presence with the Seahawks organization last week?
Jimmy Graham, I think he had a great showing. I think it's just a start. And I think that we need to see more of that. Just listening to some of the press conferences and stuff like that, you hear Pete talk, you hear Russell talk. They don't want to force the ball to Jimmy. And I say, why not?
Yeah.
I say, why not force it to him? Make him make the play. Most of the time, he's the bigger, stronger man. And I've always said it. I played corner, so if I was lining up against a guy who's 6'7", that's going to be a matchup problem. Most of the time, I'm going to need help. The safety's going to have to rotate down or something like that. So, but you want to make the defense honest. But you put him out there at receiver. I say you treat him like a receiver. He blocks pretty good, but I think he's a better receiver than he is a blocker.
I would go on record and say that.
So I'm gonna show him some love. So yeah, I say you split him out there. He's used to catching the ball, and you let him do his thing. And I think these couple catches he had this game, I think that's gonna put fear in the rest of the league. Okay, Graham's getting on a roll. He's starting to get moving. So I think it's a good look, and I think it's gonna make defenses throughout the season have to prepare differently for the Seahawks.
I agree 100%. I think he's a big bully on the field, man. Like you said, he's 6'7". He could jump out the sky. You know what I'm saying? And so you put him out there, he's basically going to bully anybody you line him up against. So I like the fact that they're getting their rhythm together. He and Russell are doing their thing, and I think it's just going to keep continuing to grow. And it's an explosive weapon to have on your team. I'm glad he's playing for the Seahawks. But speaking of explosive weapons, one that we have become used to seeing here in Seattle doing his thing is Beast Mode.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, Beast Mode had to leave the game early last week. I think he had a calf, or maybe it was a back, or maybe it was
or something like that.
He had a hernia, something was wrong, man. He couldn't finish the game. But we had our boy Rawls step in, and he really showed out, man. He had 104 yards, I believe it was, on 16 carries, man. So I thought he was the star of the preseason. I like the way he ran. What do you think, seeing the emergence of Rawls now and Marshawn seeming to have these little injuries that keep nagging him?
Right. I could appreciate Rawls. He ran hard. He did his thing, and he looked to punish the defense. But I want to slow everybody down. I want to slow everybody down. People are already talking that he can come in and he can be the replacement for Marshawn and this and that for years to come. And that's all fine, but you know, this young man is just getting started. And I'll be the first to say he had a great game. He had a great game. He went over 100 yards, and that's hard to do in the NFL. But being great in the NFL, you got to be consistent. So he's just getting started. So every week he gets those carries. He's going to, like if Marshawn isn't going to play this week, he has to come out. He has to do that again. He got to go over 100 yards. He has to have that same type of running style. He has to run hard. And then I think we can start having those conversations. But I don't want people to jump the gun and already start putting beast mode in the retirement home.
You're going to put him out in the pasture already, yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
You can't do that. Beast Mode is an incredible running back. He's going to go down as one of the greatest, for sure one of the greatest Seahawks running backs of all time. But I know that in the past, management and even to a certain extent coaching staff has kind of gotten frustrated with some of the way Marshawn gets down, the way he handles his business. Because, you know, and I also speak from experience. I know I played with some guys, you know, that had superior talent, superior skill like Marshawn does. And, you know, guys with that kind of skill and talent, they often get away with a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I played with some guys that would, you know, come out to practice just a little bit late without their helmet, stuff like that. And then if somebody else tried that, they might be in a little bit of trouble. You feel me? So, and then until you find somebody to replace that guy, you kind of got to put up with that stuff. So my question again is, you know Marshawn's antics, you know, maybe the coaching staff is looking at finding somebody to step into what he was able to do.
Well, you know what? Pete Carroll and those guys, all they talk about is competition. That's in every meeting, every day in practice, in all the individual meetings and everything. They talk about competition. So it's always a competition. They always talk about how they're going to play with the best guy. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran or you're a rookie. They're always going to play the best guy. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but
Sounds good.
That's what they preach. But I think in the case of Marshawn, yeah, they haven't had anybody to really push Marshawn in that way. But I say again, that we don't want to jump the gun. That this young man Rawls is doing his thing, but he has to be more consistent. And I know they like him because he did a good job in the preseason as well. So, you know, of course with Marshawn, he can't play forever. So he's been playing for a long time. So maybe Rawls is the guy, but I think we got to wait and see.
I agree, man. You got to give Beast Mode his due, man. He's earned the right to go out the way he wants to go out, man. And, you know, the Young Bucks still have some road to travel, man. Barbershop, this Monday night, Monday Night Football comes to Seattle. The Detroit Lions is coming to face the Seattle Seahawks. Another big game, another primetime spotlight being shined on the city. True, we got the Lions coming to town. We got some of the old school guys that used to play in Seattle. In particular, Golden Tate's going to be back in town.
G-Tate.
Yeah, Golden Tate. We got Megatron coming to town. What do you think is going to happen Monday night?
Well, Monday night it's going to be a little harder test than the Seahawks had last week. So I think this is going to really show if everything is really together exactly like we think it is with the Jimmy Graham and even with Cam. Because even though the Lions' offense isn't rolling like that, they still got the weapons, of course, with the people you just named. And they got a young receiver over there, Abdullah.
Yeah.
So I think they can put some stuff together. So we're going to really see if the Seahawks is the real deal. And I think it's a good showing, even though the Lions are 0-3. But like I said, they still got the weapons. So it's always a chance, the old cliche, any given Sunday.
That's right.
So, yeah.
It's the National Football League, man. Those guys over in Detroit get a paycheck too.
Mm-hmm.
So anything can happen. That's what I've always told people, even though I've never played on that level. But you have. Speaking of you playing on that level, Monday Night Football, it's electric. It's the only game on TV. The whole nation is watching. Have you ever played on a Monday night?
I have. I've played on many a Monday night.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, man, tell the people what the feeling is like. Because, again, like I said, you're the only show. And it's a night game. You underneath the lights. Tell the people what it's like.
Yeah, for them young boys, man, you know, most of them cats is young. They not married. So all their friends is watching. All their little girlfriends is watching. All your homeboys back at school. All your ex-coaches. Everybody's going to be watching. And I know you say that guys are pros and they got to block all that stuff out. But, hey, man, it's serious. So that goes to say that even the guys around in the league are watching because they're done on Sunday.
Right.
So come Monday, everybody's going to be watching. Everybody has their little Monday meetings and they come home and they watch Monday Night Football. So, hey, man, it's a real deal. It's the biggest stage and everybody wants to have a good showing. So I know the Seahawks are going to be gearing up. Of course, they're going to be favored and they're favored pretty heavy. But, shoot, man, I just want them to be careful, man. A 0-3 Detroit team that still has a lot of weapons.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's like backing a coon up in a corner. You don't back no coon up in a corner.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. They just got to show up, man. They got to play big.
Yeah. And I know, like, again, I'm not in I never played on that level, but I know in college.
Yes.
Can you come help me?
So you just going to make us stop right in the middle?
Kenny sat in a baby toy and I can't get her out of it. And I'm pulling her and she's yelling and we can't get her out.
You going to let your thing keep running, T?
What's that?
Are you going to let your record keep running?
Yeah, we had an unseen eventuality. Marcus had some child issues. That's what happens when you're at the barbershop, man. We got the barbershop show. You know, we got we just put through some stuff together. We got some jerseys that he found in his closet, threw up here. And he about to go upstairs and whoop a child. You should take the camera upstairs and get that. Coming back, we had some technical difficulties. Marcus had to go upstairs and take care of some business. You want to tell the people what you had to go upstairs and do, Marcus?
Well, you know, when you got 5 kids, sometimes they like to, what would I say? They like to revert back. So I got a baby toy, baby seat down there that's for an infant, but my 5-year-old got inside of it. Wife couldn't get her out. Everybody sweating upstairs, so they called me in the middle of the show to come do that only in the barbershop.
That's right, man. Only in the barbershop. That's how we do it. You had to go upstairs and be the enforcer, man. But that's what you do. That's good daddy. Yeah. Good upbringing. Way to bring your kids. Raise your kids up right.
Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Monday Night Football is coming. And we hope to see a good game. It's going to be a great game. Hopefully the boys will come out with a victory. Again, you said, Monday night is the night when everybody's watching. All the eyes are on your team that night. The boys actually probably do a few extra curls and extra push-ups in the locker room before
Extra
the game.
curls. Probably a little baby oil, too.
You know they do it.
Or
so.
they get shined up for the game.
That's
so.
right.
I ain't never do that, though, when I play.
Now you're telling a lie to the people.
Never,
man.
ever.
Yeah. Anyway, some more news came out. Basketball started, true. Just the other day they had their first press conferences, the NBA. I know LeBron did a press conference. Kobe did a press conference. Getting ready to start the season. First day of practice. I think it was yesterday, as a matter of fact. And one of your favorite guys.
My guy.
Your favorite guy, Rose.
Oh, man.
You want to tell the people what happened to Derrick Rose today?
Hey, you laughing? It's not funny. I used to laugh.
It's funny, man.
Because knees and the ankles and all that kind of stuff. That stuff's funny. I used to blame it on Adidas. I hope Adidas, they never want to sponsor us because they're probably not going to get no sponsor. If they go back and look at the past shows, we talk bad about Adidas. It must be the shoes. This man done had, I don't know how many knee surgeries. And ankles, high sprains. But this time it's his head, man. Somebody went upside his head with an elbow, I heard.
And fractured his skull. Fractured like his eye socket or something.
Fractured his skull or whatever. But you can't have that, man. Because I know in training camp, you got these rookies. You got people who going extra hard in practice trying to make the team. But if somebody even gets close, and I'm talking old school, if somebody got close to Matt Hasselbeck or got close to Sean Alexander, they would damn near be off the team.
Yeah, you got to go, man.
So Derrick Rose is the franchise player. You can't have nobody going too hard against your franchise player. You can't do it.
I just feel bad for the guy. I mean, he started off his career so incredibly, man. He was the MVP of the league one year, wasn't he, as a matter of fact?
Yep.
And now he's basically resorted to being the joke of the NBA. I don't want to call him a joke. I mean, but people, if you go online, if you go online, you will see the memes they making about the boy. They killing him, man. And honestly, I'm be dead honest with you. I feel bad that he's in this situation because he's a great talent, very skilled young man, and I hope he gets better soon. Really,
I do too. Did they say how long he's out? I didn't.
When you break your head, you're gonna be out for a while. Yeah. You need to give up the Adidas shoes. He probably had on an Adidas headband at the time, too.
Do Adidas like that. Adidas.
We open if y'all want to come holler at us about something.
I still wear shell toes. I wear shell toes.
That's because you old school like
good,
that, yeah.
My Adidas, Run DMC.
Yeah. We want to thank you guys for joining us for another episode of The Barbershop. You can find us online at all the social media, Twitter, Facebook, at barbershop206.com or barbershop206. We're also on Instagram at barbershop206. And you can find us on our website at barbershop206.com every week doing our thing.
Only in the barbershop.
Peace.